This lesson continues our foundational understanding of design of experiments. Multicollinearity occurs when two or more input factors are expected to affect an output factor, but are found to be highly correlated. An example would be to determine the structural strength of a bookcase. The input factors are the number of shelves and the number of books. In this case, the two input factors are highly correlated. The more shelves we have, the more books we can store. When we have two variables that are totally correlated, or collinear, one variable must be eliminated from the analysis for valid results. A covariate occurs when things change during an experiment which had not been planned to change. To alleviate this issue, we randomize the test order. This means the experiment is free of bias and other influences that are known or unknown. Make sure to capture the covariate variable so that it can be investigated further. Replication and repetition depend on many conditions. If cost is low and variance is high, we should replicate. If cost is high and variance is low, replication makes little sense. Sometimes we have the need to repeat treatments multiple times to estimate the pure trial-to-trial experimental error, so that lack of fit may be understood. If the measuring instrument has a variation of more than 10% of the part or process variation, then more repetitions will assess and separate this variation in our analysis. Of course, the factors we wish to study could ultimately force us away from replication. This may be a better trade-off if we seek to maximize our understanding of the system. Paired comparison can play a role in replication. We ignore sample-to-sample variability and focus more clearly on variability caused by a specific factor effect. Only the differences in the response for each sample are tested because sample-to-sample differences are not pertinent. Every response variable will consist of the product of factor effects and the significant factors, as well as an experimental error. The x's are the factors, and the b's are the factor effects. Epsilon is the residual, or the difference between the observed and predicted results. Recognize that this top equation is a first-order model. It will not account for curvature or interaction behavior. The successive equation is a second-order equation. The second-order term is the x1 squared term. A product term between x1 and x2 could also be a second-order term. Curvature refers to the curvilinear behavior of one or more factors and the response. In the second equation, the curvature is described through the squared term. Efficiency is an indicator of the variance between one estimator and another. One estimator is considered more efficient than another if it has a smaller variance. This slide will be dedicated to a few more miscellaneous terms. A robust design is a term coined by Taguchi, where the response variable is considered robust or immune to input variables that may be difficult or impossible to control. Response surface methodology, RSM, is a graph of a system response against one or more system factors. This method is useful in uncovering the shape of the response surface. This can allow us to fully exploit our determination of any relationships discovered. Box-Benkin is one of the most notable and efficient response surface methodologies used for full, second-order, and polynomial models of three or more factors.